Good morning. It's Tuesday, July 27th. Again, we're almost at the end of July, starting out with August soon. And we are glad that you're here with us on Up to the Minute. Dr. Tony Rail Sutherland with Raquel Sims. Raquel, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I got out for a walk this morning and now I'm trying to just wind on down. How are you doing?
Oh, sounds good. I wish I'd walk in the morning. I need to do that. Okay. Well, Raquel, tell us a little bit about how everybody can find us, HCC, in social media.
Yes, please follow all of our social media pages at HCC District. That's on YouTube, on Instagram, and Facebook. And also, we are now back on the HCCTV cable station. It will be airing Monday through Friday from at 12 and at 5. So make sure you stay up to date and make sure you keep up to date with all of our latest features.
Okay. Now, it is Tasty Tuesday, and I always love food. So we have the restaurant of the Museum of Fine Arts. Did you know that they had a restaurant? And they are also one of the HCC's partners. And we will talk to Chef Andrew Ayala. How are you, Chef? Well, we'll come back to you in just a few minutes. But we also have the co-chair of the foundation's Bedicheck Orman Auction, Dr. Erica Stevens. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with food, and then we'll come back to you, okay? So welcome to the show, Chef. How are you doing? I think we need to turn on your microphone. Let me see.
Beautiful. Okay.
There we go.
I'm getting ready for another busy week. Just getting ready for that. Just arriving. So I'm pretty looking forward to, pleasing more guests with our food.
Very good. Now you are chef de cuisine le Jardiniere.
Right.
I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but I know Spanish better than I do French. I'm sorry. For the Museum of Fine Arts. And that's a special kind of cuisine. I'm going to ask you about that. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what made you want to become a chef, and why French cuisine?
Sure. I grew up in the Bay Area. I'm a San Francisco native. I lived there for 25 years. I started cooking there when I was about 16. I worked at Campton Place, became a sous chef there. Afterwards, I moved to New York in 2013, where I started working for Daniel Boulud. Afterwards, after 2 years there, I went over to Per Se. I was there for about a year, and then I joined the Bastien Collection, which is the company I'm in now. And they have L'Atelier de Joe Robuchon in New York and Miami. Benno and Leonelli is a part of that collection as well. So, and now I went over to open Le Jardiniere in New York. We were blessed 4 to 5 months afterwards with 1 Michelin star, which was very, very unexpected. So a huge accomplishment for the team. Afterwards, we opened Miami. And then now this is our 3rd location with our 4th location coming up in Geneva. I moved to Texas in March. So I'm very new to Texas, learning as I go, just along with everybody else that came with me.
How does this Texas cuisine mix with your French cuisine?
I mean, it works. When you think about Houston, right, it's a huge melting pot. There's the huge Spanish, Mexican influence. There's a lot of Asian influence. You have your Thai, your Vietnamese, and then you have, kind of your southernness, if you will. Everything just blends very well together. So one of our dishes we're currently having right now is our shrimp and grits, right? So you wouldn't even think something like that would be kind of luxurious, right? It's kind of very like comfort, right? It's good for the soul. 6 years, that kind of thing, right? So, but we get our shrimp from the Texas Gulf, and then we take our own spin on it. We have our grits that we get from Homestead Gristmill, which is right here in Texas. Nice creamy white grits. and then we do our spin on it. We do a bisque, kind of like a spiced bisque, but it's not crazy spicy. We'll use some paprika, some espola. We do a nice little foam over it. So when you look at it, you're just like, okay, doesn't look like shrimp and grits exactly. It's
not hometown,
right,
but
right.
good. Well, just real quick, what made you want to go into become a chef?
Honestly, I think I tried to do so many things. I tried to get so many jobs, and I went to school for audio engineering. Just so many times that I would try to do those type of things, right? But a young kid, with no experience, you're gonna get rejected a lot of those times. So I found myself, I had a connection. I was able to start working with a class member that I had, connected me with a job, and then just worked my way up. And then honestly, 3 years later of doing that, I couldn't see myself doing anything else with life. And really, that's what I tell young people or people that are looking for a career change and they're looking to get into the industry. I say to them, if you can't think of doing anything else, this is what you're supposed to do.
Well, and I understand that your mother had something to do with you going into this industry.
Right. So my mother immigrated here back in the 70s around to San Francisco. And she started getting into charcuterie, these old Italian meat shops in San Francisco that don't exist anymore.
Tell me my background. Go ahead.
Started doing that, and she started butchering. So she would bring home all these amazing fish, lamb, chicken, beef, all these different cuts. And as a kid, it's like, okay, what are we having? What are we eating? And she would show me all these things. So really, I was around all this beautiful stuff at home, and then not even just at home, but outside California. It's a beautiful, doesn't really have, and especially Northern California, we don't really have the seasons like we do in the East Coast, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of just from the 70s to the 50s year round. So you can get tomatoes in January. You can get all these beautiful peas in February. The weather allows you to get nicer things sooner than you would other places. So really, just put all those things together is a huge sign.
Well, tell me about this concept of le Jardiniere. Mm-hmm. Tell me what that's about.
Yeah, so the concept began with Chef Alan, who I work with very closely. He's a huge mentor, and I learned so much from him, from the food side, from the business side. Honestly, we do everything together. It's been a huge pleasure. So he actually founded the concept, right? He wanted something that you can go any day during the week, very approachable, but it's elegant, it's classy, right, if you will. And also that healthier side, right? French food normally tends to get, the misconception of there's a lot of butter, there's a lot of cream, there's a lot of, and then you feel all stuffed afterwards, right? So, but that's really not what we're about. We barely use any cream, barely. Butter, not so much, hardly anything. We use a lot of olive oil and plant-based ingredients. Like our bread is totally gluten-free. Our ice creams are plant-based. And our cooking are dishes that normally tend to change probably about every 2 weeks or so. We go with the seasons, right? And we build a close relationship with the purveyors. So they tell us what's coming, what's leaving, what's around, and we try to use as much as we can from the area. And, it is kind of hard to grow here, I've been told. And then the freeze also didn't help at all.
No,
but
not at all.
Farmers now, I spent the last Saturday at the Urban Harvest Farmers Market. Mm-hmm. Things are starting to thrive now. It's
lots of rain.
Yeah.
Rain has helped tremendously. Well, now, I understand the location of the restaurant plays an important part in the concept, and you kind of touched on that. Why is that?
Right. So, we like to make our plates obviously tasty. They got to taste good, but visually they have to look good as well. So I think what we're trying to do, we're trying to go with the museum. It's a museum. There's beautiful sculptures, beautiful, exhibits all around here, which is amazing. And then we try to go with that. We try to blend in our plates with that look. And I think we're doing a pretty fine job at it.
So part of the concept is taking the locale that you're in and kind of mixing that in with the French way of thinking and kind of putting it together. Am I close to?
Yeah. We use all our technique is French, but our ingredients, not necessarily. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. We try to use with what's around. And then, yeah.
So I know that you have other locations besides Houston. Where are those?
Right. So we have our flagship, which is in New York, which is temporarily closed, but will reopen in Manhattan. Our second location is in Miami in the Design District. This is our third. And then our fourth is going to be in Geneva in Switzerland.
Ooh, that's going to be neat.
Looking forward
can I go with you? No. And this pandemic, how in the world did it affect you?
Oh man, I mean, like so many others, it did. There was a time where we didn't know if any of us were going to have a job. We didn't know what was going to happen. This industry, I feel, took a huge hit, and it's still recovering, right? So there was a time that we didn't know what was going to happen, but shortly after, we were able to bounce back on our feet. We were able to reopen locations. We were able to provide jobs, bring some people that have been loyal to us back with us, and start doing, our old routine, I guess.
Sounds good. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Chef Andrew. We are so glad to have you here. Wish we could have seen some of your food, but we have pictures. We have pictures. So thank you for being with us. It's Chef de Cuisine, Le Jardiniere at the Museum of Fine Arts, Houston. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're going to move on to Dr. Erica Stevens. She's the Bedicheck Orman co-chair and also an English instructor here at HCC. And Raquel is going to take the helm here and interview her.
Welcome to the show again, Miss Erica Stevens. Let's begin with an explanation of, the upcoming auction in November. Tell us all about it.
Thanks, Raquel. Have to concentrate. I'm so hungry for shrimp and grits now.
Right? I know.
So the Meditech Orman Auction is an annual event. It raises funds for a professional development fund for faculty. This is so that faculty can go to conferences, participate in different programs. And with everything, slowly coming back to normal with travel, this is going to be especially important. We also really try to target adjunct faculty members so that they can have professional development funds, and they can be awarded up to $500 for professional development. So the auction every year is our chance to raise money for that fund. So this year, it takes place on Saturday, November 6th. We changed it from Friday to Saturday so people don't have to fight traffic. Now, at this point, it still is going to be virtual and in person. So things are obviously pending all the time in this year, but we're hoping that we can have the in-person version at the West Loop campus. Generally, this means there's food and drinks, and it's one of I think, the few chances for HCC employees to get together and have fun in the evening and have some drinks and dress up for a themed party. So This year, the theme is, we didn't realize it would be this ironic, but the theme is masquerade.
Ooh.
So we hope it's not too political with the masks and all of that. But our theme is masquerade, so you can interpret that how you will, Phantom of the Opera style or Mardi Gras ball. But we're really excited and hope that the in-person version can continue.
Yes, this is actually exciting because I'm a fan of masquerade balls. And that's why I was like, ooh, so I know it's going to be amazing. And I love all of the wonderful things that you are doing with, especially with us getting back into the normalcy of things. And so if you don't mind, let's take a step back down memory lane, or stroll down memory lane, must I say. And can you tell us a little bit about the history?
Sure. So the Bedicheck Orman Auction, those are names of two faculty members, Wendell Bedicheck and Helen Orman. And last year, as part of our fully virtual programming, we had tributes to both of them and the work that they did that inspired other faculty members to put together this fund. So it is a fully faculty-run event. We are supported by the HCC Foundation and a lot of great staff members, including people from HCCTV. So it's really a great history, I think, of many HCC employees coming together to support faculty. And this year, very sadly, we recently lost Dr. Sue Cox, who was one of the founders of the Bedicheck Orman Auction. I didn't personally know her, but I know that she was the first president of HCC's Southwest campus. And I know that many people that are involved with the auction knew her well and are so thankful for the contributions that she's made. So I just think it's a great organization that holds a lot of history. And it's only my second year with it. So I'm learning, but it is a great opportunity to learn about HCC's history and some of the really important faculty that have made this fund possible.
That's good. And it's amazing to see how her legacy is being carried on. Mm-hmm. And so it's great that you're being a part of this. And so speaking of being a part, how can people register? And will you be using a third-party vendor to handle the auction? Or can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Certainly. So there is a way to register now. The web address is bit.ly/Bedicheck-Orman21. And at that website, you can register. You can also donate to the fund. So we are looking for auction items at this point, and I can talk more about that. So the event itself, once you register, you'll get reminders about the November 6th event and some instructions also about how to bid on items in case you are not in person. People will be able to bid from the comfort of their couch if that's what they choose this year. So we're doing it both ways. And we use an app called Handbid. We used it last year to great success. It's really easy to bid live, and people were having fun competing with each other, driving up bids last year. So we use that. And as usual, we have tons of support from the HCC Foundation. And this year they contributed gift to help us pay for the Handbid app.
Oh, well, that's amazing. And we will have those links in our posts for those who missed the link. So make sure you take time to register. And if possible, can you tell us a little bit about the timing about the silent auction?
Yeah, so usually the silent auction, we did it so differently last year because it was fully virtual last year. We learned a lot from it. So this year, the silent auction will take place probably about a week before the actual event. We'll open up the silent auction. Again, the event's November 6th, so maybe a week prior to that. But then we'll reserve some items for live auction. And those are usually our big ticket items and fun things like last year, Dr. Amy Tan, who's the dean of my department, she donated a dinner for 4 with her, and that went for $500. So those things are really desirable because you get to dine with some HCC leadership and some really great colleagues. And those are generally reserved for the live auction portion. But we have tons of things for the silent auction, things like celebrity and sports memorabilia, jewelry, art, custom baskets. Yeah. Yeah. So like the custom baskets are usually prepared by different HCC departments, and they try to go along with the theme each year. So last year was a 1980s theme. So we had a lot of fun 1980s themed things, and I'm excited to see what people will come up with for the masquerade theme.
Okay, awesome. If you don't mind me asking, what is the Bedicheck Orman grant and who is it for and how can one apply?
Right, that's a great question. I feel like we just say professional development. What does that mean? So all faculty at HCC are eligible for the Bedicheck Orman grant. It is for full-time faculty who have exhausted their $2,000 professional development fund, but I certainly think it is especially for adjunct faculty to get that professional development that they might want and have up to $500 awarded. I think that, with the pandemic, it was difficult because professional development often involves travel, going to a conference, doing a workshop. But hopefully there'll be more opportunities for that kind of stuff as we return to normal. But people can apply by going to the Faculty Senate website, which has a link to the Bedicheck Orman auction and a lot of information about applying for those grants. So, this can be things such as memberships in professional organizations, conference attendance, workshops. And all of this stuff is really important for especially adjunct faculty who are looking to, add to their CVs and continue to grow and learn as faculty.
See, I love that. Not only does HCC provide limitless opportunities for students, but they also pour back into the faculty and staff. And so it's amazing that you all are doing that. Thank you so much, Dr. Erica Stevens, Bedicheck Orman co-chair and English instructor. And we will have your information in the post down below so people can connect with you. Thank you so much for being on here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Now moving on to news, events, and announcements. Popping things off, we have the July Community Leaders, and we want to remind our viewers of a new round of community community learning programs approaching, coming up soon. 50 plus computer basics, speaking of pouring back into the faculty, the staff, and continuing education. It'll be happening today, July 27th at 1:30 all the way through 3 p.m. And also on today, we have Rock Your LinkedIn Profile, something that I honestly need to join. And registration will also be below at hccs.edu/community learning.
Great. And also we have Rec Sports with some fitness tips for you. We have boot camp noon on Tuesdays and Zumba on Zoom 6 p.m. Wednesdays. Just go to sports at hccs.edu.
Yes, and I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and then we also have, I know I was gone for a little while. You guys didn't know that, but my internet went crazy on me. But anyways, also, we're setting up for future success. So you can attend an HCC financial aid info sessions. Each month, financial aid hosts Zoom sessions connecting you with experts to go over ways to pay for your education, which is always helpful. There's a lot of money out there, but you may not always know how to get to it. And this is the place to go to find out how.
Uh-oh. I think we may have lost Miss Tony. Okay, I think you may have lost Miss Tony. So moving on to our next announcement, we have an uplifting experience. HCC just got a lift with fresh fresh funding of $600,000 from the PepsiCo Foundation for HCC Southwest to offer a broad range of technical education and training for Black and Hispanic students. This provides quality education and workforce pathways toward an industry recognized credential to obtain a job with livable and sustainable wages in high growth and high demand fields. So please don't miss out on this chance of a lifetime. If you are interested and you want to find out more information, please contact hccs.edu/uplift. This is a wonderful time to uplift individuals. So keep that in mind. Moving over to our next announcement, we have Hover to Discover, which is about the Cybersecurity and Compliance Department, and they warn of a recent increase in phishing emails. So be on the lookout for spam and all those phishing emails. These are getting more sophisticated. So if you see an email that looks suspicious, take a minute, read it carefully, scan it more thoroughly so that way you won't be caught in the trap. And remember to hover to discover. Hover your mouse over a link before clicking on it to see where the link actually goes, and also report it if it has no idea where it goes. If you have any question, please contact it.security@hccs.edu. Yes. Oh, we have Miss Tony back.
I'm back again, back and forth. I don't know what they're doing. Some interesting things in our neighborhood with the internet. So, anyways, tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow real quick. Gaming Day. We have a special treat in store for our Magic the Gathering fans. Ayala will join us. She is blown up on Twitch and every other platform with more followers than anyone, except for maybe Ninja. But we've got something special for you there.
Yes, that's exciting. You know, I love Up to the Minute and how every day really has its own theme. You know, you have Mental Health Awareness Mondays, Tasty Tuesdays, and then the gaming always integrated as well. So that's pretty cool. And we continue to look at our HCC's Community Learning Program, this time with a Zumba class, not to be confused with Rec Sports. So the good news is that this will start after Rec Sports ends its virtual classes. So that's perfect and good timing.
Great. And so, you know, our time is running out. So we're going to have to go. I'm sorry that I'm coming in and out. I don't know what's wrong with my internet, but we'll fix it. But anyway, so glad to be with you, Raquel, and with you guys on Up to the Minute. Always come back here every morning and Monday through Friday, and we will see you next time on Up to the Minute.